Good morning. I'm here with you today to share a very important concept called preparation. Why preparation? Because preparation is a key element to your success in life as an entrepreneur, as a person, as a leader of within any group, any organization. It's how well do you prepare for that skill, that role, that element. I was inspired to talk about this morning because I actually read a great article on what the young man who recently, I believe his name is Rami uh, Halleck Malik. He won the Academy Award for his role as Freddie um, Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody, the story of Queen, the rock group. And it was very interesting. He actually prepared for over a year for that role. Now, not to mention going to school, learning how to be an actor, learning the skills, doing other parts and pieces of movies to hone his skill. But then when he auditioned for the role as Freddie Mercury, he spent over a year spending time researching the history, watching the videos, watching the movements, learning the choreographic elements of what this rock star did. And he got so good at it that he actually transformed into the character to the point where Freddie Mercury's sister literally was driven to tears when she met him or watched some of the takes. She just felt like he was really almost the reincarnation of this individual. Now, here's the key. As an entrepreneur, I can assure you, I had to prepare. I had 13 years in corporate America, and I was able to transition into being a successful entrepreneur and have run my own successful entrepreneurial practice, business advisory practice for over 36 years. Now, that's a challenge, particularly coming from corporate America. So you're used to having a lot of people around and people you can delegate work and division of task and this sort of thing. But as an entrepreneur, you have to take a different approach and literally prepare. I mean, you have to prepare to the point of before you even get started, you've got to think about what's the purpose of my organization. What do I want? If you're looking at it from a life standpoint, what's your purpose in life? What do you want to accomplish in life? What's the legacy you want to leave behind for others in your family? Well, this is all part of preparation. You prepare, and the more prepared you are, the more successful you will be. And that means you got to constantly be in a continuous learning mode. I was very fortunate, obviously, to have two parents who were entrepreneurs, so I learned a lot from them. I observed, even though I wasn't really paying that close of attention to the fact that what they did or how they did it, but they were successful and they were well known and did well. I mean, middle class America, upper middle class. So that was pretty cool. And I learned from that. They were not 9 to 5 payroll folks. They ran their businesses 6-7 days a week. So the point I'm trying to make here is that we have to prepare, we have to study, we have to learn. Now, one of the ways that you can learn, and it's one of the ways that I have experienced, in addition to reading plenty of books, as a mentor told me one time, read 3 to 5 books on a topic so that you're not following any one person, but you're learning from all these different sources, and each source will emphasize a different part of the process, and you discover the process of what you're trying to learn. Once you learn the process, then you're able to apply your own thoughts, your own individuality into how you go about doing that, and you can become unique in your delivery with that particular process. And that's the key thing. Own it, but you have to prepare in order to do that. You just can't stand out there and start winging it. Even though we try, I try from time to time to wing it. And when I do that, it's a complete failure. I have to admit, I've learned the hard way that preparation truly, truly counts. And the other thing I want to share with you is that I've been very fortunate to have singled out several mentors and masters in what they do to learn from them in order to transition or transform my business and even me into what I want to become by working with folks that have actually walked in my shoes before me. They kind of set the tracks. You learn from them. You learn from the experts before you try to apply it yourself. One of the things that is tragic, a lot of people just want to start, or they just expect people to show up. They build it and they will come. Theory is broken. It does not work. You have to develop skills. I know a lot of technical people who can't sell their way out of a wet paper bag, and yet they expect people to just buy their technology or their products or whatever, and they don't know how to sell. They don't like selling. They don't want to sell, so they ignore that part. But here's the thing. The first two stages of growth for a small business is to sell every day, to always be making offers. One of my present mentors is adamant about offers, having offers out in different formats and different methodologies, different medias, in order to just drive the leads, to get high quality leads where people are interested in what you bring to the market. And I have to admit that's something I have to improve upon as I've gotten older and a little bit more tuned into a comfort zone. I'm having to bust out of my comfort zone again, but I'm doing that because I'm hanging out with a master who has figured out how to do it the right way, and is actually demonstrating the results. So what I'm going to suggest to you is, before you hire a coach, just, there's a lot of people that have been certified as coaches, and I want you to be aware that not all people are very good, or they have zero experience in dealing with your situation. They're actually learning on the fly at your expense. And that's not necessary. You can find people who are very experienced and learn from those people who can share true experiences and true insights, and not just a process by itself. You need applications. I mean, that's like assessments. I market a lot of assessments for companies and people, but it's not the assessment. I mean, there's a lot of folks that are selling the same assessments and competitive assessments. But what I do that's unique and different is I bring the assessment to life relative to how it relates and how you apply it to the individual and their position in life, be it a a lot of executives or anybody. I mean, we help in the selection process of looking at the talent and making sure that the talent is a potential high performer. So by doing that, I'm able to connect the dots on their natural strengths and weaknesses, and then is that helping or hindering the position, the job requirements for success. If they don't match, maybe there's a better candidate. And it's interesting how ego sometimes gets in the way, or urgency gets in the way of making excellent hires. But that's another point for another day. I want to stay into preparation, and even what I was just talking about is an act of preparation. You have to think about the jobs before you go out and hire the talent. What does the job require? Not what you want per se, unless what you want is directly related to the position that this person's going to be allocated to. So anyway, preparation is key. It is most important. I cannot emphasize it enough, but you may want to, there's many ways that you can do this. And by the way, you can do it. I mean, I did it. And I'm no, no Rhodes Scholar by any stretch of the imagination. I'm country smart, but I'm not a Rhodes Scholar. But I have learned, I have read. I've got 3 complete libraries in my house. Yes, we had books before the iPad and that sort of thing. But the other thing is I've attended workshops and seminars around the country. I've listened to the masters. I've studied under the masters in order to learn my trade and as well as specific areas of knowledge that I needed to improve in order to be successful as a business advisor. And then I've taken that and studied it some more and applied it with a framework of my individual makings. So with that, I want to say that if you want to talk to me about the possibility of coaching or having a business advisor to help with strategies and growth elements for your organization, please hit the Learn More button below and go to a website and schedule a time for us to have a brief, short discussion. Once we do that, then you can, if we need to move forward, we can. If it's not a match, we'll know that immediately too. So with that, I want to thank you for your time today. You have a great day, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.